Mastro, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to look at the chart for Richard Branson, Sir Richard Branson. And if you look to the eastern horizon when he was born, you would see the constellation associated with Cancer rising at 19 degrees. 19 degrees becomes the most effective point of every house. Any planets like Mars and Saturn have a lot of impact in this person's chart because they're within 5 degrees of that rising sign. So we look at how the planets are operating and when they're operating at different points in their life, and what kind of remedies we can do to strengthen the chart. And so we first look and see where the Multicona signs are using sidereal zodiac, not Western astrology. We see the Multicona signs are 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11. They are those numbers. These are, every one of these boxes is some aspect of our life. And the houses are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But the numbers refer to the signs in those houses. So the first sign of Aries, ruled by Mars, he's working on his career. Wherever you see these Multicona signs, they show what this person came to work on in this lifetime. Then you see the fourth sign of Cancer in the house of life purpose. So really focused on what he came here to do and make a difference. Then we see the fifth sign of Leo, ruled by Sun, in the house of wealth and fame and stability and marriage, working on that. Then we see the sixth sign of Virgo, ruled by Mercury, in the house of success, very focused on being successful, entrepreneurial. And then we see the seventh sign of Libra, ruled by Venus, in the house of happiness, home life, property. And then whenever we have a Multicona sign in the 6th, the 8th, or the 12th, they can be challenging. So we have Sagittarius in the 6th, ruled by Jupiter. So he's working on health and healing, conflicts, delays, disputes, fire, theft, and cheating. And then he's working on 11th sign Aquarius, ruled by Saturn. Life-changing experiences, research, windfalls, some vulnerability. So now let's look and see how the planets are operating individually. So we have Sun, and it's less than 5 degrees, so it's said to be an infant state. And infants cannot protect or promote their own signification. So Sun is somewhat weak, and it's ruling the house of wealth and fame and stability and marriage, and placed in that first house of ego, life purpose, the body. So it says that he will have wealth and fame through Sun. Its signification is leadership and organizational skills. And that there may not be a close connection between his father and himself, which he was closer to his mother. And then, so yeah, that's Sun. And then there was some, also some instability in the marriage because that Sun is weak. And is also can affect this person's self-esteem. So early on, he was very shy, very private person. Still is very private and shy. But on the to the outside, he's very brash and aggressive. So there's two parts to that. Then we have the moon is also weak because Sun, its landlord, is weak, and it can't be any stronger than its landlord. So moon is giving life purpose through his wealth and his fame, and the moon, the sensitivity and compassion of the moon. He's very humanitarian oriented and very intuitive. So, and he's very close to his mother. She taught him about entrepreneurial skills. She invented a wooden tissue holder for tissue boxes, and was successful with that. So then we have Mars. Mars is ruling the career house, and it is placed in the house of entrepreneurial success. So it makes him very aggressive in his career, very brash, and gives him a lot of drive to be successful. And Mercury is also weak, so it's somewhat weak. It can't, but it's close to the most effective point, so it has a lot of impact in this chart. Then we have Mercury, and Mercury is being afflicted, the fifth aspect of Rahu, and they're within 2 degrees. So this affects the intellect. He had dyslexia at a young age and ADHD, and so difficulty with communication. And there's some controversial speech. He's very involved in politics and different things. So, and then we have Jupiter. Jupiter is ruling. Sagittarius is in the 6th house. So Jupiter rules the house of health and healing and competition, very competitive. And then it's placed in this house of research and windfalls. So part of his windfalls comes through his competitive nature. And then we have Jupiter. Let's see, we just did Jupiter. And then now we're going to do Saturn. Saturn is ruling the 8th house. And so, again, it's placed in the house of wealth. So wealth through these windfalls and this research into space exploration and different things that he's into researching. And so this Jupiter, even though it's malefic, he is providing remedies. He's the Aquarius is humanitarian, so he's remedying his malefics by being very humanitarian and very much supportive of spiritual organizations. And then that also works for K2, and Rahu is helping other people, humanitarian causes as well. So he's automatically remedying the planets that could be causing some challenge for him. Rahu and Ketu are the other challenging planets. They're always balancing depending on where they're placed. So here it's balancing this material success with this spiritual success or knowledge. And let's see here. So let's look at the timing events. He got charged with tax evasion in 1971 during a K2 period. Again, K2 can bring some losses with your success. And then he got separated from his wife in 1977 during a Sun period. Sun, again, dealing with the stability of the marriage. And then in 1990, he experienced an introspective, depressed period during a Saturn period. Saturn, and again, life-changing experiences, the introspection. And there is a little bit of a tendency for depression because of the placement of the affliction of Rahu with Mercury and the weakness of the moon. Now, they both have to do with mind and emotions. Now, let's see here. Then one of his first spaceships in 2014 exploded. That's during a Jupiter period, so Jupiter can cause some accidents there. And then had grandchildren during also a Jupiter period. So Jupiter represents children and grandchildren. He had twins in 2014. 2016, he had an accident. He tore a ligament and fractured his cheekbone. Also was charged with sexual assault, all during a Saturn period, causing, damage to the physical structure through an accident. His mom died in January of 2021 of COVID, and I was just looking at that chart. Saturn is the 10th aspect of Saturn is afflicting moon, representing mother in the house of motherhood. So that, and then, and also, um, yeah, so those are the main things. So, what could we do to remedy the chart? He's already doing the charity work to transform the malefics in the chart, but he could also wear a kavash, which we carry on our website, which is a silver locket containing the Devatam yantras and mantras for Mars, for Moon, for Mercury, for Sun, and Venus. Or he could wear the gemstones, the red coral, the blue the ruby, green emerald, a diamond, a pearl. But the Kavash is the least expensive, most efficient way to strengthen the planets. So thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to get a reading, you can go to vastucreations.com under services. Or if you would like to learn this transformational Vedic astrology to see it's quite accurate and get, even if you wanted to get certified or just do it for helping your friends and family, you can go to courses at vastucreations.com. Thank you so much for listening. Join us next week for another personality